my champions, are you confused or are you worried about preparing two exams, that is KCET and PU2 together? Trust me, you are not alone here. Every aspirant at this point of time faces this pressure of preparing for both the big exams together. And let me tell you something which is very, very important. If you want to be a topper in both the exams, if you want to be getting a top rank in KCET as well as 95% plus in your PU2 exams, the result will not be happening in one single day. It is not that you are putting 13 hours of study on one day and these results will be produced. Never. It is a result, it is a cumulative result of efforts, small consistent efforts that you are putting daily from now onwards. So that is what makes a topper different from others. So in this video, to help you with this, I have brought a daily study plan that will help you to remain consistent, to balance your KCET and PU2 preparation, and to remain one step ahead of others in this competitive world. So just let me discuss what we have in today's video. So first of all, we'll talk about why do we need a timetable. I know most of you already know it, but I will be explaining it slightly. Next, we'll talk about what are the ground rules that you must follow while making the timetable. This is very important because if we don't follow this rule, then our timetable which we are preparing, we will not be able to follow it. Next, daily allocation. How can you allot time 4 to 5 hours of self-study daily? How can you allot, how can you divide that time? Next, subject rotation strategy, what you should follow, how you should be rotating the subject. Weekend strategy, because at this point of time, weekends are the days where we have to put maximum effort on our studies. So how are we going to manage this weekends? Next, what are the revision slots, how you should be revising. One sample timetable I will prepare and give you so that you can modify it according to your needs. And lastly, I have some final tips that you must follow. So let's move to the first. Why do we need timetable? Without any seeing, you can see the difference between two students. When you have a plan, you are less stressed, you are more focused, you are more balanced, and you have more chances of getting into a good college. You might have heard this saying that if you fail to plan, you are actually planning to fail. So that is why it is very, very important to have a timetable. Whether it is working or not, that is the second thing. But the primary objective is to have a timetable so that your day is planned, you know at what time what you need to do. After that, whether you're doing or not doing, that is the second part. But having a plan is the utmost thing that you require, right? When we know that what is the use of making a timetable, before moving forward, I have something very, very important for all of you. So yes, as I told you, there's always a problem or always a difficulty in preparing for both the exams. But at this point of time, when you are struggling with such a thing, if you get a good guide, if you get a good mentor, then that will be very, very good for you. So in this case, we are helping you with our crash course, that is KC90, which will be covering the entire syllabus of KCET, COMEDK and PU2, right? This one crash course will be catering all the three exams, and this will be offline classes across 8 Diksha campuses. Okay, so there will be proper weekly test. Every week you will be having part test, and at the end you will be getting full length test. So everything will be there. A perfect plan, a perfect strategy for you to make you get top 1000 rank in this, right? So if you want to know more about this, the seats are already filling very fast, and we have rupees 3000 off for the early birds. So please call on this number, or in the description section of this video there will be a link. You can go there, visit the website, just check all the details of the course, fill the inquiry form, and our team will connect you. Okay, so please do consider this, check this, and then this will be something very, very good that you can at least invest at this point of time to secure your future, to secure a top 1000 rank for yourself. Okay, so now once we have known that why do we need a timetable, now here I have seen a very common complaint that we all have. Even when I was a student, I was also doing. We all make a timetable, but we are not able to follow it. So that is because we don't follow the basic rules of making a timetable. So here I am telling you some ground rules that you must follow. The first one is fix 4 to 5 hours of daily study time. Okay, you have to analyze that. This you can change at this point of time. I am saying 4 to 5 based on your school and college time, but you might have different, but there should be a fixed time. That how much means it's not that today you are studying 1 hour and tomorrow you are studying 12 hours. It's not like that. You need to have a fixed time, that every day how many hours you need to study. Okay, that's the first rule. So I want all of you to just count your day, just look at your daily routine, which time you have to go to college, tuition, whatever it is, and then put down in the comment section how many fixed hours of study, self-study you can dedicate every day. Okay, I want everyone to comment that. Next, what we have, the next rule is prioritize quality over quantity. Just don't focus of studying on 13 hours. If you study 2 hours also, but if it is quality study, that is much more important, much more better than studying 13 hours a day. Okay. Next rule, so always remember that if you're just don't think that if you're studying 2 hours you will be lagging behind. No, if you're studying that 2 hours with full focus, that can beat even a 13-hour student also. Okay, please remember this one. Next basic rule is mix boards and KCET. We will be mixing them. We are not going to study them separately because our exam syllabus overlaps. Keep at least one rest or refresh break after every 1 to 1.5 hours of study. This is very important, and many of us do not do this, that we are very like we have put 9 to 10, 10 to 11, 11 to 12 will study like this, and we don't take any break. So it is my request all of you, whenever you study, please follow this Pomodoro technique, where you have to study for 25 minutes and then a small 5-minute break is mandatory at any cost, because that will help you to recharge your brain and that will help you to remember better. Okay. Next we have, okay, so now let's talk about daily time allocation. So I have told you 4 to 5 hours you need to figure out. Okay, if you are figuring 2 to 3 hours, that is also fine, but quality is very important here. So first 1.5 hours, what you have to do? Yeah, so first 1.5 hours you have to focus on studying the theory. Which theory? PU2 theory, and you should make notes. Notes of each chapter should be done in 1 page only. Okay, 1 page note making should be there for 1.5 hours. Okay, so just decide in the starting, suppose you have selected a chapter, how many parts of that chapter you will be covering or how many pages of that chapter will be covering, and whatever notes you can underline in the book or you can write in the side of the book, and at the end of the chapter is over, you should have a 1-page summary note of that particular chapter. Okay, this is for 1.5 hours. Next 1 hour, 1.5 over, then again another 1 hour I will dedicate to solve the KCET PYQs. Okay, very, very important. For last 10 years of KCET PYQs you need to solve. Okay, this is important, and if you don't have any resource, in our channel we have so many videos on PYQs of last 10 years, so please do watch them and solve the PYQs. So that will take another 1 hour. Okay, now 2.5 hours are over. Next 30 minutes you just need to do revision. Revision of what? Revision of, okay, so just 1 minute. So after this comes actually this 30 minute where you have to do some PU2 question solving. PU2 question solving means theoretical questions. You need to have a practice of writing and all. So 1.5, 2.5, 0.3 hours are over. Okay, so almost 1.5 plus 1, 2.5, 2.5 plus 5, 3 hours are over, and last 30 minutes you have to do revision. About what? See, here you have solved, suppose today in this 1 hour you have solved 20 questions, right? So there might be some 20 questions that you have done error, you might have done wrong in some questions, you have to revise those questions. Next, whatever this 1-page note you have made, you have to revise that in within 30 minutes. Next, here also some questions you have solved, you will be doing some mistakes, so that also you need to revise. So that is how your time should be divided. So total how many hours we are studying here? Here this is 1 hour, this is 2 hours, and this is so total 3.5 hours of study. Now I'll also tell you that if you are not having time, you can skip this for now, means at this point of time. You can start doing this in the month of January and February also. But at this 3 are mandatory. So 3 to 3.5 hours of self-study you have to take out at any condition. Okay. Next, After, we'll see subject rotation strategy. So this is something that I find will be good. Monday, Wednesday and Friday you can study physics and chemistry. Okay. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday you can study maths and bio. Okay. Or those students are having CS, they can study CS here. Okay. Now what happens? On Sundays you can do revision of whatever you have studied in the whole week. You can study English and any language, second language, whatever you have, Kannada, French, Sanskrit. You can study language. You can do the revision of the entire week, and then you need to write mock test. Okay. You don't have to write for all the subject. You can write any 30 minutes. So you can solve just 20 questions test. Some test you have to give on every Sunday. This test can contain even 5 questions, 10 questions. That is also fine. But a test has to be taken on Monday. It is good if you can take for all the subjects, but at least 2 subjects you must try. Okay. Next is what is our Sunday plan or weekend plan. So weekend you definitely have to target 6 to 8 hours of study. Okay, with breaks, because we know this is very, very important, because you get only one day in a week to relax. So that one day should also be having for some time for breaks. So first of all, morning I want you people to dedicate 3 hours, 9 AM to 12 PM to revise whatever you have studied in the whole week. Okay, so 3 subjects, like basically physics, chemistry and maths, because you are targeting for engineering. That is the most important thing I believe. So revise whatever you have studied in this 3 hours. Then you take break, take lunch, everything. Up to 2 PM you are having break. Now 2 to 5 PM write mock test. Okay, so 3 hours you can dedicate 1 hour for each subject. Okay, that will be fine. So 2 to 3 hours you can write down tests, or if it is not possible, you can just reduce this to 2 hours also. Okay, so here we have studied 3 hours, here we have studied 3 hours. So 6 hours we have studied, and night we have 2 hours for 7 to 9 PM, where you just need to do the test analysis, whatever test you have written, whatever questions are wrong, whatever questions are correct, you have to analyze it for 1 hour, formula revision and weak area focus. So once you have done test analysis, you know which chapters are weak, which concepts are weak, where we need more improvement, that you can write down and revise those. Okay. Here I am already telling you, you can make it 2 hours also at this point of time. Now we will go for revision strategy. So revision has to be done on 3 stages: daily, weekly and monthly. So daily revision, you have to spend on daily timetable. I have given you 30 minutes for revision. So that will be your daily revision, where you are studying whatever you have studied in the entire day. Okay. So and while revising this, use active recall, means just close the book and try to think what you have studied today. Okay, that is the best way of doing micro revision. Then on weekly revision, on Sundays I have already given you 3 hours of revision you have to do. Revise the entire week topics and that 1-page summary notes which you have made. Okay, that is something which has to be used on weekends to revise the entire chapter. Next, monthly revision. So for you have to dedicate at least 1 to 2 days, means you can take 1 full Sunday or 1 Saturday and Sunday to revise whatever you have studied in the whole week, okay, in the whole month. Okay, so you have to cover all the chapters that you have studied in that month, and there should be a revision tracker. So for example, in this October month, okay, just let me give an example. So for example, in the month of October, I have decided to complete physics 2 chapters. Let it be like alternating current and ray optics. Chemistry, I have 2 chapters. Okay, these are my targets to complete. So I will make a list like that, and at the end of the month when you revise, you have to put a check. Okay, this chapter is done, this chapter is done. So a checklist has to be there so that you know how much exactly you have completed, how much you are pending. Okay. Next is a sample timetable that I have told you I'll give you. So this is, I am assuming that all of you will be back from your school, college by 4 PM. Okay, 4 PM generally the colleges get over. By the time you reach home, 5 PM something. So I'll tell you by 6 PM you can start your study. Okay, if this is not happening, you can delay it. This is just a sample timetable. You just have to modify it according to your schedule. Okay, so 6 to 7:30, all of you will be doing PU2 theory plus note making, 1.5 hours that we have given, right? After that 1 hour, what we have to do? We have to solve questions, right? So 15 minutes of break here, 7:45 to 8:45, you have to solve KCET PYQs. Okay, then 8:45 to 9:30, 8:45 to 9 again you can take a break. 9 to 9:30 you can do PU2 answer writing. At this point of time, as I told you, this is optional. At this point of time means in the month of October and November you can keep this optional, but not in month of December, January and February. Then 10:30 to 11 you have revision. If you are not doing this, what you can do in your school, if any homework is given, college homework are given, assignments are given, that you can complete here. Okay, and at the end you have to do revision. If you are not getting this time, early morning you can wake up, like next you can sleep by 10 o'clock, you can get up by 6 a.m. and just a 30 minutes of revision you can do in the morning as well. Okay, so that will help you. Next we'll have a final tips that I want all of you to follow, that stick to the timetable but keep it flexible. This is very, very important. See, what happens is, suppose you have planned that 6 to 7:30 you will study. Somehow you became late on that day from coming from college or some party, something happened, you reached home at 8 p.m. Now you will be thinking, okay, 6 to 7:30 I had to study, so now 6 to 7:30 is over, now I will not study from 8 p.m. This should not be there. Your target should be more important than time. Okay, your aim is not to study from 6 to 7:30, but your aim should be that if you have planned from 6 to 7:30 you will study electric charges and fields 2 topics, that has to be done today. Whether it is 6 to 7:30 or 8 to 9:30 doesn't matter. So your target should be rigid, but your timetable can be flexible. Okay, please remember this. Next, revise daily 5 to 10 minutes. I have given you 30 minutes time, so you have to revise every time. Don't skip weaker subjects, give them fixed slots. Okay, so we have generally think that whichever subject is easy for us, we keep reading that and we ignore the weak subject. So please don't do that. Always try to read a fix. If you are having weak in maths, so keep that 30 minutes maths you will practice every day. So for weak subject it is good if you keep a fixed slot, and it is like a daily, when you study, when you put more efforts daily on the weak subject, one day it becomes a stronger subject. So please start putting a fixed time slot for your weak subject, and now all of you will comment me and tell me what is your weak subject. Okay, next, weekends should be for test and revision. Definitely you have to write test, it is mandatory, and whether it is a 5-question test also, that is fine, but a test has to be written. And lastly, focus on consistency and not long study hours. Okay, so as I have told you in the introduction also, one day if you want to become a topper, it will not happen by studying 13 hours one day. It will happen by studying 3 hours for the next 5 months. Okay, so please remember, consistency is very, very important. Do not skip even a single day. Even if you are skipping a day, try to back it up, try to cover that loss as soon as possible. Okay, with this I will be ending this video. I hope you are very clear with how to make a timetable. So two, three things you need to comment down. First is hashtag top 1000 rank. Our target should always be with us. Second thing, at how many hours of fixed study time you can allot every day. And third thing, which is your weak subject out of physics, chemistry, maths and biology. So with this all things, I'll be ending this session, and KC90 is there already for your support. You can check that. Description is there in the, link is there in the description section. Do check it out. Thank you so much and all the best.